Hello everyone. So today I wanted to do a special kind of topic. I have multiple other topics on the way, but with it being Valentine's Day, I wanted to discuss a personal situation, discuss essentially like with me being on the autism spectrum and being in a relationship. So this relationship started the latter part of 2020. To add more context, like there was one of my previous videos where I had given like a bulk of it, but in this video I'm gonna dive a little bit further into it. So this relationship started the latter part of 2020. So I would say like a few days before Christmas, so like around December 21st. It actually started at a drugstore. So myself and her were working there. And she was actually, I was newer, so she was training me on some things, and that's how like we started talking, because like with my social skills, I don't have the best social skills, so the one-on-one interaction simply works better for me, and that's what occurred in this specific situation. So we were talking, we both had experienced like a certain level of trauma. So like, I knew what it was like to lose my mother and my father. She had lost her dad, and then there were other things that we were talking about. So ultimately, like we end up setting up what I call an AEW date, because I'm a big fan of pro wrestling. Absolutely love AEW. So we end up setting up an AEW date. And so the date went well. She, like at the end, like she watched like a few episodes of, at the time, AEW Dark. It was a YouTube show. A few episodes of AEW Dark, like one of the old pay-per-views with me. But then at the end of the night, like it was like, I was stuck, because it's just like, I don't naturally know what comes next. But I had actually, I think like in the latter part of that, I had asked her to be my girlfriend, in which she did agree. Okay. So moving a little bit forward, one of the bonding things I thought would be fun was to go out and get a console, because there's various titles that you can get for a video game console that would just make the overall experience pretty fun. So I went out and got some sports games. I think I got Mortal Kombat. I got a few other games. But anyways, we were actually playing NBA 2K. And like in one of the situations where she was losing, which it did catch me off guard, she actually hauled off and hit me in the back of the head. And in the moment, I was like really like stunned and confused, because I was thinking, do I need to go home? Like, I don't understand this behavior. Like, so I was like, yeah, like I'm gonna go home. And she had actually got upset, started like crying profusely, saying that she doesn't know what came over her. So she had actually apologized and said, yeah, I don't know what came over me, and that's never gonna happen again. Okay, so this is gonna be a part one. There's actually a part two that I'm gonna do as well, because I see that this is getting longer. So her sister actually, at the time, was living with her mother, and she had made me aware of the situation. Her sister was potentially at risk of going homeless. And one thing that I had did was that I had actually told her, if you can get your sister here, she can actually stay in my apartment, like, because I was predominantly like at my ex-girlfriend's apartment. But I thought it'd be really cool to let her sister stay in my apartment while I'm not living there, as a place to stay. I also will put food and different resources in the apartment, so that she could use. Well, one thing that started occurring was, so she would break a lot of rules. So there were things that were getting broke in the apartment. There were stains in the carpet. There were, she would use drugs in the apartment. There was just a lot of different things going on in the apartment, and it was starting to like make me uncomfortable, to the point where like I was like, hey, like you're gonna have to stop this sort of behavior, otherwise you're not gonna be able to live there. Ultimately I ended up losing like most of my deposit from her being in that situation. So we move into, like, myself and my ex-girlfriend, we move into this new apartment, because one thing that we had decided is, okay, so like there was that place, and then my ex-girlfriend had her place, that like we was going to get a combined place together. Well, so we got the new place, and that's when stuff like really, in the first few months, it started getting really, I don't know the exact words to describe it, but it was really out of control, because her sister could no longer live at my place. So ultimately she was going to have to move with us to the new place. I'm going to continue this in a second video.